Hello everyone and good afternoon. My name is Lauren Matsumoto and I'm from the UC San Diego Nikkei Student Union, as well as one of this year's organizers for Manzanar at Dusk. I'm sure many of us here can agree that we're always on a journey to learn more about ourselves and to understand our identity. As a fourth generation Japanese American, I like to give a shout out to all the Yonsei who are here today, as well as a third, fourth generation Chinese American. Manzanar plays an important role on my journey. The first time I ever was part of the Manzanar pilgrimage, I was in high school and I came with my dad. Even though my grandparents, Bob Matsumoto, who was incarcerated at Tule Lake, and my grandmother Jane Adachi, who was incarcerated at Gila River, were never personally imprisoned here at Manzanar, my dad and I understood that it was important to take time to be a part of this trek to one of the concentration camps, and to reflect on how the 3 years my grandparents were imprisoned had scarred them so greatly to have also impacted my dad and I and shaped who we are today. When I first arrived to the pilgrimage, I was moved by the vast number of people who decided to come out here to share their stories and for others to learn more about what happened here and to learn about the American stories that we never listen and we never hear in history classes. I believe there's always something more we can learn, especially on the land, on where it happened. This is something that I felt when I took part of this year's pilot program, Keeping Japanese American Incarceration Stories Alive, that was organized by the Manzanar Committee as well as the Manzanar Historic National Site. I strongly encourage to keep these kinds of programs alive so that so many others can have the same opportunity that I did to learn more about the American stories that need to be heard and to be preserved, as well as learning about our history is the first step in never letting it happen again. I can see that there are parallels between the justice faced in 1942 to the Japanese American community, as well as the current injustice faced by a Muslim community. It is difficult to combat xenophobia, racism, Islamophobia by ourselves, so that is why it is very important that we stay vigilant and support our neighboring communities today during this current political climate. It is important that we are continuously discussing ways to preserve our history, share stories, and to speak up. So tonight, organized by the Nikkei Student Unions of UC San Diego, UC Los Angeles, Cal Poly Pomona, and Cal State Long Beach, along with the Manzanar Committee, we invite everyone here today to continue this discussion at Manzanar at Dusk, which will be held at 5 p.m. at Lone Pine High School. During this time, we will have student and community activists speak on a panel about their past and current experiences. Afterwards, those who have joined us will be given the space to reflect on their time at Manzanar and at the pilgrimage, as well as to tell their own stories. Everyone from all ages and backgrounds are welcomed. We especially encourage from former Nikkei incarcerated and their families to join us to continue the dialogue and to pass on their stories. Again, we hope to see everyone tonight at 5 p.m. at Lone Pine High School in Manzanar at Dusk. Thank you.